So, hello everybody, Tenacious Earl here, and we're going to have another tournament for the Tenacious Golf Tour. It'll be tournament number 12, so we're reaching almost the halfway point of this tour, which is great. I want to try and keep moving this along. And so, trying to get there to the end of that will be awesome if we can, when we finally get there to reach the final and have sort of Tenacious Tour, Slacker Tour. They're all going to kind of come to a head at the end together. But I still have a lot of tournaments to do for both of these, so just kind of keep moving on. All my projects, save for one which I did on Facebook about a year or so ago, have been longer, more endeavoring projects, we'll say, than what some people do, which to each their own. I guess I feel like if I've got something I'm working towards in the long term, it's better. But anyway, I wanted to take a moment just to talk through something real quick. As a person who has been gaming a lot and with the tabletop games, first off, I guess today is some kind of international tabletop whatever day. Great, every day for me is, so hey, that's great. But enjoy it if you like playing them. Play a game today if you can. Whatever it may be, play a few. Have fun. But anyway, my videos, if you notice, I tend to take notes, and so this process here, we're gonna be doing the making the cut. So this is Thursday and Friday in a PGA tournament are the first two rounds. They have a cut after the second. We've seen this before. I've tended to get really sort of anal, tracking how many cards are getting pulled and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to stop doing that. One thing, it takes a little bit of time. Another thing is I'm not really finding I'm looking back at that information at all. Another thing I'm finding is that when I then input the cards into my spreadsheet, a lot of times I have inaccuracies in what I've written down anyway. And so basically, being a Bills fan and being from the Philadelphia area, there's a term called trust the process that has become, maybe it's sports wide. People are familiar with the trust the process hashtag or slogan, whatever you want to call it. Well, that's what I need to do, is I need to trust the process. It's all going to work out. I'm going to get around 70 to 80. Golfers, it'll be really easy to make amends for that after the fact if necessary. This is not like careers aren't really being made or lost on this. These guys are names on cards that don't really exist in real life. And even if they were people that existed in real life, it still wouldn't make a difference. Sergio Garcia is still going to be Sergio Garcia. Tiger Woods is still going to be Tiger Woods. And we're doing this as something for our own enjoyment and edification. Maybe I'm hoping that a few of you, are also getting enjoyment out of this in the process. So I'm not going to get so worked up over trying to keep detailed notes and all that stuff. And it's up to everybody. I think if I didn't have a channel, I'd be less talking this out and maybe even less thinking about it in this term. But I guess I just feel like I've done a lot of work of these things that like writing down the number of draw golfers and the number of top golfers that I've taken from the making the cut, and then the third round as well. I will write down who the outstanding golfers is, because sometimes because I said is who the outstanding golfers are, because it can be easy to misplace something in one of the, and I'll tell you what, the thing is, if you misplace something, and I think that's part of my problem. Okay, here's a couple things that I'm noticing with playing these games, and you just have to, I myself have to get myself off of worrying about this, but these are things that are somewhat annoying to me. Cards stick together. And so you think you're pulling one card, and you feel like you've put all the cards out there in a row, and maybe you've taken two, or you have two that didn't make it through that were sandwiched together, and that guy really didn't get chosen. We just have to not let ourselves get so concerned and so like caught up in this kind of minutia that it takes away from our enjoyment. But another thing is just, I think, putting things in the wrong spot. Like, I think that's a clerical error, or whatever you want to call it, organizational error. It can happen. You do the best you can. It's not like we're sitting here spiting, doing something out of spite to one golfer or not. So, having said all of that, we're going to get to the cut. I've already done the qualification we had. Now, I still take some notes, so I'm not getting away from that. I do like to have stuff that reminds me. We had 40 golfers qualify. Now, I had a Slacker Tour event the same weekend, and I've already completed it, so it's not exactly... I already know who won the Slacker event. It was a guy named Terry Berry. It was a card that I had created, and so we have another new winner on the Slacker Tour. But in order to make this realistic enough, like, I can't run these tournaments side by side. It would get too messy. But you can't expect the same guys to try and qualify for the Slacker Tour event to be able to qualify for the Tenacious Tour event. So I had to divide those up 50-50, or as close as I can, and that way I don't have any temporal issues, if you want to call it that, where you've got like a guy playing 2 rounds of golf on 2 different coasts or whatever. So trying to make this as true to real life as we can within reason. It's, again, just a game, but there's certain elements you can do to try and plan it out ahead of time. So let's get going here with the cut, and hopefully it won't take as long, because I'm not going to be quite as anal retentive. So be right back in just a second with the cut. Alrighty. Don't really need this at the moment, but it'll be right there. So, the other thing I am going to do, because I don't know how much... Well, I'll switch back and forth. That's not a problem at all. Let's see. So, that is our... Oh, and I should get out that guy. So, we're going to use... we'll use the green and the black because of there. So that right there is the process, if you notice, that we use for determining who makes the cut. Now the cut score has already been determined, because what I do is I take the winning score from the 2017 tournament on the PGA Tour, which was 268, 12 under par. This is the Lone Star Golf Resort. Is that right? It's the Four Seasons Resort in real life. So this is I put the Lone Star Open. This is the Four Seasons Open. I'm going to have to change the title. Got to get my titles right. This is the Four Seasons Open. At the Lone Star Resort. The Lone Star Resort, also known as the Four Seasons Resort in real life, is a par 70 course. So the cut score will be 212, which is 2 over par. And the winning score after my Decide or Die D6 combo roll remains the same, 268 minus 12. So that's our target score. So, get things on the road here. So I've got all of my tour cards, and I've got the qualifiers. we got to try and mix them up as best we can here. So actually I should just combine everything and mix them up. So let's do that. This is really tough to do, but shuffling these things is, when you've got 156 cards, it's a challenge. So some of my family is up, so I'm hearing that, so I'm getting a little distracted. But my youngest is the one that's the most of a handful, as most people's situation probably is if you've got multiple kids. But all right, so I'm just doing the best I can here. I'm not going to stress about it. As we've said before, as I've said many times, this, and if you look in, so I don't always mention what we're using here. We're using a game called History Maker Golf, and as Keith, who is the proprietor and primary game designer over at Play, would say, this is an inexact science, and so it kind of comes into play that the lack of exact nature. So you just play this the best we can. So what we do is we have a morning and an afternoon set of pairings. Really, it's just a reason to split things up into two different groups, because it's just so hard to manage if you wanted to do 16 pairings. Because each pair should produce 4 golfers and change, and so if you do the math, 16 and 4 is around 64. You get a little extra, you get up there to 70, so it's 4 and change. But we're going to make 8 piles for the morning and 8 piles for the afternoon. So, and again, it doesn't have to be exact, but we try to do that so it gives somewhat an equal opportunity for everybody. But and so this is, again, another thing I should mention here. I don't get to mention it every time. This is the Pro National set from Play, which is all fictional, plus some custom cards I have created in order to provide a realistic base of golfers from which they will play, if you know what I mean. When I say realistic, I just mean that you're going to have qualifiers on any tour. You're going to have people who are on the tour and full time, and so those guys need contenders, guys that are going to challenge them, and that's what we have made. That's what I've made. Trying to just eyeball it here and see where there's some discrepancy to do my best. Boy. All right. I'm trying to listen here because people have to be loud. Okay, so let's get going here because time is a-wasting. So there is we'll take the first pile and we'll roll it against this chart. And let me show you here that I'm shaking them up. You should be able to hear the dice. 46. So we've got draw 1 and choose the top 4. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to do this. 6, 7, 8 golfers here. And so we, with a 46, let me put this here so that way we could see it. We draw 1. I use a D20 to do that. And so with it's leaning. I'm going to re-roll it. That is a 9. So 9 will still be 1 because we had 8, so that's good because it was leaning to 1, and I'm glad that I got to take Dominic Hodges. So that is a qualifier. Not an outstanding golfer. There are some choices that are outstanding. So let's go through here. And this is one that's heavy on custom cards. And what are we taking? The top 4 remaining. And it's okay. So this is how they stack up. Let's see who else comes out. This is another custom card. 5B is going to be down here. It's a tie. 4B, that will knock these guys out. Nishiki Kawahara. Duke Vernon will knock out Zachary David. So we get Vernon, Kawahara, Mays, and Zavala. They make the cut. The others miss it. I'm going to put the missed pile over a little bit so they don't wander together. Okay, so now we'll take the second pile. And a 23 is going to be draw 1, top 2. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we just draw 1. It'll be 14, so we can go up to 18, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Hayden Baxter, another, and he's a 6A, so he hardly ever gets taken into past a cut, so he'll be making some money. So we choose the top 2. So it'll be Patel and Inouye, and we'll see if anybody knocks them out. So Overguard will tie. Rubio now knocks both of the 4Cs out. Another 4C, a 5C, a 5A, and a 2C will mean that we're going to get 5 into the cut. So there's a tie between the 4Bs. Again, I am not stressing. I like to have exactly the right number, but there is some play here. So number 3, that's a 34. We're going to draw 1, and that golfer will be outstanding. And you're going to see here, I think this pile is going to be quite a bit more. And I've so 7, 8, 9. These are all, I can just see it. These are all qualifiers. So I didn't do a very good job of stirring them up, but we've got, 11 here, and we're going to draw 1 that's outstanding. So we're going to have an outstanding qualifier here. That's just the way it's going to go here. 9, so 7, 8, 9. Gene Ewing. All right, and then the top 3 after that. So we'll just start with these 3 at the bottom. And again, so Roca, or as I should say, Roca, because I was saying that before, kind of a quirky thing that I do. Got a couple 3Cs and a 5C, a 4B. This actually feels a lot like a Slacker Tour event because this is the way it kind of goes. There's a lot of 3s, and there's only a couple, actually there's only a few 3s, a lot of 4s. And let's see. So we have 4. We needed 3, but we got 4. So again, that's doesn't feel so great for Mr. Liking Order, but okay, so 55 is going to be the top 5 golfers. So let's take a look. It'll be Magellanes, Angelo, Jeremiah James, Yunli Song, and then one more to at least start, Leon Bay. Okay, so Angelo and then Bay will be the next ones to go if there's any that beat it. 2B, Kenji Morita, that will knock out Angelo. Then we have Alvestad will knock out Leon Bay. Next up, Kenny Service is a 5B, no. 5C, 1A, Emmerich. So there we go. We get a pretty hefty group there. In this one, Alvestad misses the cut. So there are your top 5, and that pile. And now pile number 4. So 34, we've had that one. That's going to be another outstanding golfer. I forgot to put your thing up here, but 34, as you can see, is a draw 1, outstanding. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Make sure these aren't, yeah, there's nothing stuck there. Roll the decider die, draw the 1, outstanding. 19, and we have 11, so we need 1 to 11 here on the D20. And there is a 10, except you can't see it unless I turn the camera. There. 10. So 10 is going to be, let me double check, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? Eddie Sykes will be outstanding. And then we choose the top 3. We'll start with the ones at the bottom again because there's 3 there. Honorado, Rooney, and Hayes. And we'll just work from, so 3B will knock 5C out. That'll be Su Cheng Tien. Carlos Solari gets Lucas Rooney out. McCoy is a 4B. 2A is going to knock out Su Sheng. 4A for Chip Connors. 3C, Fabio Antonucci. 2C will make it in. Braden LaSalle Jr., by virtue of a tie, will make the cut. And we're also using the injury modification, which means if we roll an 11 at some point, there is an injury roll where you draw an injury golfer, and then you take the top one out of the pile that makes the cut. There's a 14. We'll draw 3 this time and choose 1 top golfer. So there's a potential for a 2 or a 3 maybe to get hornswoggled here. Get pipped. So we're going to draw 3. With a 14, actually, the top remaining golfer is outstanding as well. So keep that in mind. So we're going to draw 3. The first one is Mateo Soto, a custom card. He'll be the first. And now we still have 8. And now 2. So we go from here. He Jin Tong. Kind of sounds like gin and tonic, but He Jin Tong is the second. Now a third. We start from here this time, and there's 7, and 17 won't get us anywhere. 16 won't either, and it's leaning. So maybe I'll just roll it on the... There's 8. 6, 7, 8. Will Janis, he is a tournament winner. So now we take 1 outstanding, the top one, and we'll start with Ernie McNown. Danny Gallatin will pip him for that. Justin Wallace will now take the top of the heap with 2A. Christian Canepa is a 4B, not good enough. Aaron Backus a 5A, and a 3A Ian Robard. So a couple of 3As miss out on an outstanding because Justin Wallace, who's had a rough go of it, I would say here somewhat. He hasn't really been in the running for any tournaments here lately. Good rating, and maybe this will be his chance. Being in the outstanding group, maybe this is his chance to find a weekend pairing, because he's in the outstanding. That's going to give him a good chance. So we got 2 more rolls to go here for the morning. And a 26 means we draw 4, and the top 2 golfers are going to remain. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We got some more qualifiers here. It looks like almost the whole group is. So it was 4 and 2, right? Draw 4. I think I said we had 9, so that's 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Damari Ramsey. So we're drawing 4, and we have 8 left. And 17 is greater than 16. I gotta get I see my lamp is in the shot here. That's not ideal. So 13. That will work. So we're down to 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Blaze Casey. So 2 more. We got 7. 19 won't work. 3 will. 1, 2, 3. Joel Barrera. And now 1 more with 6 and 16. That will be okay. So we took one over here. So 6, 12, 18, 17, 16. Samir Webb will make the cut. And now the top 2 remaining. Trent McAdams, he was in that. I thought that was another custom card. So we got these 2, and then we got, what's this last one? 4C. We're going to take 3 in from the top for this pile. Top 2, but we need 3 because there's a tie. So one last pile way over here for the morning. And it will be draw 3, top 2 for 25. So we've got 8. And 20 isn't going to help. Let's roll it on this. I'm just going to use this as a backboard. My felt is getting a little rolly. So there's 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What I mean by rolly is it a little uneven. So it kind of... So Corbin Pope. Another custom card. We're going to draw 2 more. We have 7 left. 19 won't do it. 13 will. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Another custom card, Makai Berry. He's been in a number of tournaments. I think he was the guy that actually... Did he come close to winning the last one? Might have been him. So he was here. So we've got 6 left. 17. 6, 12, 18, 17. And it will be Brian Broaddus. So we got 2 top. Menini and Fonseca. Menini might be the one that gets, yep, Simanowicz Jr., a winner here on tour. And then we've got him getting beat by Lanny Saxerholt. And then you've got Saxerholt getting knocked out by Martin Van Dyke on 1C. So that is that for the morning. And again, I don't know how many we've got coming through. I'm sure if you were following along, you could add it up as we go. I'd say we're a little heavy, but that can always change. So there were 40 qualifiers, if you recall, and thus... Keep in mind that we saw at least 2 piles that were almost completely qualifiers. So there should be 2 more. And it'd be nice if they were spread evenly throughout. But it's really tough to get that to happen. Like I said, the cards kind of stick together at times. And so we just have to do as much as we can to try and make them, to shuffle them. But even then, there is still some level of... it should simulate real life. And I think in real life, you'll see there are definitely guys who miss cuts. And there are definitely some tournaments that have a higher level of qualifier / dark horse candidates, whatever you want to call them, that are able to emerge. So let's get this afternoon going. And we'll take the first pile. And it's a 16, so that'll be drawing 5. Drawing takes a while, but that's another thing that does take a little extra time in this process is if, like, I like to roll because I feel like that gives us the best chance of being random. But in theory, what you could do is just take 5. You could take this one, this one, this one, that one, and that one, or something like that, and say that's good enough. But we've got 10 here. No, wait, no, 9. And so 10 will be this. And so Carson Rodell gets in by virtue of one of the draws. Now 8 and 4 left to draw. 9, 10, 11, 12. What I should start doing is using die to mark where. So Shane Sterling. So now 3 more to go. And hey, I put up 3. That's good. So now 3. 1, 2, 3. Maurizio Mondragon. 2 left. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Patrick Kieran. And now 1 more. Started with 9, have 5 left, so we're drawing 5. That's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Jim Visotky. And now we take the top remaining. We'll start with new, and then we will see Prentice Bial miss out. Luke Henneman will miss out, and Carroll Davis. So a bunch of 3s and 4s that are left over. Of course, we got Rodell, who was in the 1 category. So we'll take pile number 2 now. 56, draw 1, top 5. So as you can see, as you've seen here, as we do these tournaments, you'll get basically a random mixture of draw and top. So it probably does slightly skew towards the top golfer's favor, I would say, because there is a chance that the top golfer is going to be drawn. Whereas there's very little chance that a bad golfer is going to be a top golfer. But you can't see all these, I don't think. Let me see. Yeah, it's because of the way that I could tilt it just a little more. There we go. There is 5, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 in this pile. So we draw 1 out of it. And it's number 1. It'll be Alardo Huerta. And so we take the top 5. And we'll take these. And then we'll turn over the others as we go. Nick Yarlett. So Gareth Leonard is a 1B. He is, I'd say, guaranteed to get in at this point. Angus Ingram, Delmo Mazzanti, Sheridan Cook Jr. So I'd say those 5Bs aren't long. The 5s are not long for this. Well, there's a 5B. So that knocks out Sheridan Cook. And we've got a tie between Johnson and Mazzanti, but just wait. Zephaniah Scott. So as long as we get 1 more, we'll have 6 if we get... There's 4B. That knocks out the 5Bs. Kerry Finley. So we have 4 more to turn over. 3A. It's going to push Kerry Finley out. Now we've got another tie here. 2A Myung Cho. We'd like another one over 4 now to get rid of the 4As. There's a 5B. That's not going to help. And a 4C. So we're going to end up with 6 top golfers because of the tie. So they'll all go. Okay. Which is perfectly all right. I keep telling myself that. 46. Here is another higher number of golfers going in. That's going to be 5. Draw 1, top 4. Be nice to get a couple that are in the 1s and 2s to sort of make it not so heavy, because we're going to have to figure out a way to keeps going this way. So 10, draw 1 and a 12, so it'll be the second golfer. It'll be Glenn Frissard. And now we got the top 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So Hirano, Novak, Wiles, Cameraman. Let's just keep going. 4A. So these are all 3, so a 4A isn't going to make it. A 3C is going to be tied. Another 3C. A 5C. And a 5B. I'm getting somewhat jobbed here, guys. I'm getting a lot of ties, and it's really not so good. Means we're going to have a lot of extra golfers, and we're going to have to make a cut line somewhere. So part of it is my oh, there that'll be good. Only get 2 in if we only have 1 top golfer. A 12. Draw 1, top 1. That's good. But part of the reason is, like I said, my custom golfers, if they don't get spread out evenly, it can mean that there are going to be some other not so good golfers that are going to get kind of scrunched into the pack. So we've got 8, 9, 10, 11, and a 12. There's a 1. So the very first golfer is the draw golfer. It's going to be Jay Laufenberg. And now a top golfer. Rance Aberley is going to start at 2A. And we got 4B and 3B. They're not going to make it. Jae Gun Woo, who was in the hunt for our last tournament. Elliott Strong. I'm trying to remember who won the last tournament. It's I'm going to refresh my memory. That was it was a repeat winner. It'll come to me. Oh, it was Yun Lee Song, wasn't it? Yun Lee Song. That was Jeremiah James that had the tie. And Nate Killo a few back. Anyway, so we've got a tie here at the top with 2 A's. So unless a 1 comes at Tord Thorson, Royal Garibay, we may end up having to take 3 in. Bunch of 3s. So we are gonna have a tie. Still not too bad, but would have been nice to only grab 2 out of that pile. Four piles left. 16, another 6 pile. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And so we need to draw 5 golfers. So 2. Alec Newcomb be first. Now we got 10, 9, 8. Adrian Hyde. 10. So that's 9, 10. Jeffrey Hahn. So we've got 8. So 7, or no, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Ellis Moberly. And now we're down to needing 1. and 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Tagaki Yamasaki. So we're going to draw 1 now. And Roderick is not going to get there. Clive Kenny. Andy Jansen, no. Todd Aarons. Shinji Kanishi, is he going to be the one to make it through? Yes. Hello. Top 5 golfers, so let's dole them out here. Duncan Kramer's going to be at the bottom end of the first 5. So is an Allen. Trevor Beasley, you got a custom card in there. We got another custom card. So yeah, well, they're not all custom cards though. That one's not going to make it. 4B will knock out one of, well, it won't knock out the 5Cs yet, but the 4A will, which is good. So now one more, it'll either be Duncan Kramer gets in. Oh, I'm not showing you this, I'm sorry. There we go. So I didn't mean to show you, these are the other cards that were taken out here. All custom, and so now we've got one more. It's Darren Sears, who's a 3A. It's going to knock Duncan Kramer out. So we do get a 5A in with the top golfers. Top 5 only, no draw for that pile. Now we'll go back to this. Pile number 7 of the afternoon, so really pile number 15. Draw 1. 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 5. So it'll be Bob Kleckner getting in first. And then we take the remaining 4, right? Yep. Okay, so Celestino Garcia, Chase Stevenson, Moran Hubbard. And now we get Trevor Noen. So that knocks Hubbard out. John Westinghouse goes to the front of the line. Moran will now go. And now we've got this potential tie. And it's going to be 5 going in as we get a tie of 4As. Top 4. And we end up with 5 there. So one more pile. That'll be another 5er. So when you get 5, that's over the average. And we've had a lot of them over the average here. So, but that's gonna have to do. 7, 8, 9, 10. Drawing 2. So there's Nate Killow. He was in the final group of our last tournament. And then one more draw golfer. 3. Kirk Redwine. And now we get the top 3 remaining, and that will conclude it. So Percival Rowetter. Connor Messick. All right, so Heath Sommers, there's a 1. That's going to knock Percival out. Let's take this one. This is hopefully going to be, yeah, this is way down the list. Simon Espinoza. Hal Marlowe won't make it, 4B. 3A will cause a tie here for 3rd. And then another 5A. So we get 4 more in. And this is kind of the way this roll-off has gone. We've gotten a bunch of ties. So I don't know how many we've got in here. I can't do the addition until I put it into my database. We'll see what the cut is. We may have to... what we can do is... if I show you here the 3rd round sheet, you can see some of these, say, low golfer finishes with D-. What we can do, that's probably the best way to come up with others that miss the cut, is you basically take your lowest designation, if it's D minus, D, D plus, whoever is in that pile. Hopefully what you're doing is that will thin it out to the point where you're in that 70 to 80 golfer range, and that would be the cut. We would switch them to cut. They would not earn any money. So that's kind of the way this goes. So that's the way things are looking at the moment. Bear with me for a second as I adjust my camera and everything, and that's not the one that I wanted. I want this one. Alright, so that is our making the cut. Again, I don't have an idea of how many we have. I feel like we're going to have probably 83, which is a little high. That does happen in real life when you have a large group that is tied. Like, let's say you've got 12 that are tied for 70th place. You then have to take it into the weekend, and I think after the third round you would make an additional cut. And again, those guys do not get paid. So anyway, we'll be back for the third round either this afternoon or tomorrow. I'm not sure which, but thanks a lot, and we'll see you soon here on the Tenacious Golf Tour, the Four Seasons Open from Lone Star Golf Resort in Irving, Texas. Just across town, they're having the rest of the NFL draft, so have fun with that.